Hey guys, what's up? Ben here from NoCodeTribe.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this spinning scroll down button. It's actually pretty easy to build with Webflow interactions, and it's a good visual way to show your visitor that there's more content on the page they're viewing and they should scroll down. Let's get started. Just a reminder before we start this tutorial, if you want to visit the live preview of this spinning button or clone it directly into Webflow, I put all the links in the description, so go check it out. So before we get started with Webflow, let's first have a look at what's going on with this spinning button. So the first interaction we see is this text here spinning around. It's a really good visual way to show the action you want your visitor to do when he gets on the page. So in this case, it's scroll down. And the second small interaction we can see is those arrows here in the middle going up and down when I hover over the button. So yeah, okay, let's rebuild this in Webflow. So as usual, I divided my project in two parts. So the top part here is the template, which is actually the finished component. And the bottom part here is where I'm going to rebuild this button. So let's first have a look at the structure of the template. So we start with a link block. This link block, it contains an image here. And then it contains a div block with 3 images inside. So those 3 images, they are the arrows, so top, middle, bottom arrows. And this spinning image here, it's actually the text. And here the half circle I created in Sketch. So I'll explain later why I created in Sketch this and why you need custom code if you want to create it in HTML, CSS. So let's first rebuild this structure here, and then we'll play with the interactions. So I select here my bottom part, and let's go get first a link block. So this link block here, I'm going to give it a class name of button. Okay. And I'm going to place it here in the center so it's more visual for you guys to follow. So to do that, I'm going to select here my section, give it a display flex horizontal center, so it gets here in the middle. Okay, here's my button. What do I need inside? I need first an image. Go get an image here. Okay. This image, I'm going to call it spinning image. Spinning image, okay. And then I need a div block here with 3 images inside. So I need a div block. Here's my div block and 3 images here. Oops. Div block. Actually, I can copy paste this one. I'm going to copy and paste it 3 times inside those. Okay, so now I have all the elements I need for this component, and let's style it like the template. So in the template here, let's start with the link block. In the template, I need a position relative for my link block, and that's it. So let's give this to my new link block here. Position relative, and we're done. Then the spinning image here, do we need a special styling? I don't think so. Yeah, no styling for the spinning image. Good. Then the arrow wrapper. Arrow wrapper, I need a display flex vertical center. I need a width of 35 pixels, so let's start with that. So here is my div block, which is the arrow wrapper. So here I select my div block. I'm going to give it a class name of arrow wrapper. And I need a display flex vertical center and a width of 35 pixels. Yes. Then here in the template, what else? I need a position absolute, 32%, 37%, auto. So position absolute, 32, it's not 32 pixels, it's 32%, 37% auto, we're good. Then what else? That's it. Okay, good. So we're done with here the styling of this wrapper. Let's now style each arrow. So the first arrow, top arrow. Do we need a styling? No. So just give it a class name here. Why is it spinning image? Yes, because I copy and paste here. So I'm going to delete this one here and give it a class name of top arrow. Good. Then the second one I did is the middle arrow, and the third one is the bottom arrow. I did here 3 different class names because then when I'm going to build the interaction, I need to differentiate each images because there's a delay when I hover over it. So I need to select the first one or the second one or the third one. So I need 3 different class names. Okay, now let's replace those placeholders with the right pictures. So the spinning image here is actually the bottom circle. So I'm going to double click, choose image, button circle, and hide DPI. So maybe you're wondering how did I create here this text and why I don't do it in Webflow using HTML and here the UI. It's because you cannot build it in Webflow without using custom code. And because I don't like coding, then I just built it in Sketch and I imported it in Webflow. So if you want to have a look in Sketch here, it's actually pretty easy to build. So first you start with an oval here. I'm going to hide this one. So first you build an oval, then you create a text where you write scroll down. This text here, you give it this option text on path, and then you move it a bit down so it's going to come here on the path of this oval. Then this oval, you select it, you use this button here, and you play with the rotate to make the text actually really like on the right position you want. And then you create a second oval, which is going to be like here in the middle of the text. You hide the first one, and you create a path to hide the oval behind the text. So the end result is like that. It's pretty easy to do. You can do it in 5 minutes in Sketch. Okay, let's go back to Webflow. So I now have my spinning text. Let's replace the top arrow. So the top arrow here, I'm going to choose image, top arrow, middle arrow, same, choose image, middle arrow. I'm going to do high DPI for all of them, sorry, high DPI. And the bottom arrow, choose image, here is my bottom arrow, high DPI. Okay, it looks, the styling, it looks exactly the same here. Now let's play with the interactions. You see this small icon here, it means there is an interaction on my link block here at the bottom. Let's have a look at what it is. So actually there is 2 interactions. So the first interaction is a mouse hover. So this mouse hover, it's when I hover over the button, I want my 3 arrows to move up and down. And the second interaction is on page load. And this page load, it's actually the text spinning around indefinitely. That's the page load. Let's first have a look at the mouse hover. So on hover, I want all those steps to happen. So let's have a look. Top arrows, middle arrows, bottom arrows. So I want all those, the 3 arrows to move down by 5 pixels with a small delay of 0.1 seconds in between each of them. And then at 0.9 seconds, I want all the arrows to move back to 0, so back to initial position. And this last step here is actually to wait. So if you look at the last step here, bottom arrow, move back to 0, and then it's another step, move back to 0. So it's actually the same. So I duplicated this one because I want my interaction to wait a little bit. So it's, in this case, it's 0.5 seconds before it goes back to top. And this interaction here is checked as a loop, so it goes forever. Let's rebuild this in my new project here. So I select my button. I'm going to go grab a mouse hover interaction. On hover, I want to start an animation. Plus, I'm going to call this hover on button. So I'm going to select my top arrows. Top arrow, I want it to move. Down here on the y-axis, I want it to move 5 pixels. I think 0.2 seconds. Let's. I'm going to go back to the template to have a look, just to make sure we do the same. So top arrow here, move 0.2 and ease. All those ones, and then there is a 0.1 delay between every step. So 0.2, 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, 5 pixels. Okay. And then it's a 0.9. Good. So button here, I'm going to go back to the new interaction on hover. So I want my top arrow in 0.2 and ease to move down on the white by 5 pixels. Good. Now, middle arrow. I want it to move as well, but with a small delay of 0.1 seconds. Duration 0.2. Easing ease. On the Y, 5 pixels down. And same with the bottom arrow. So I want it to move 0.2, 0.2, ease, and Y 5 pixels. Great. Now I want my after at 0.9, I want my top arrow, middle arrow, and bottom arrow to move back to initial position. So I'm going to do this here, this plus move. It's after previous action, and it's not 0.4 actually. I want 0.9. So here we go. And the duration is going to be 0.2, ease, and Y here, I want to back to initial position. Okay. Now I select my middle arrow, plus I want it also to move back to, so it was 0.95 here, so I want it to back ease. I want to move back to initial position on the Y, so I need to put here 0 initial position. And the bottom arrow, I also want it to move with a small delay of 0.5, 0.05 more than the one before. Duration 0.2, ease is ease, and 0 for the y-axis back to initial position. Right. And now I just need the last step to wait a little bit before my interaction ends. So I'm going to select here this last step, click here this plus, and set it as the same as this last step. So it was duration. So the duration is different. So 0.5, it's the time I'm going to wait. And here I put the same, move back to initial position. Good. So now I think I'm set with this interaction. Let's preview. Yeah, looks good. If I do it a loop here, then I can see my arrows moving up and down indefinitely. Great. Now let's build the hover out interaction. Go back to the template. On mouse hover, on hover out, what do I want? I just want my 3 arrows to move back to initial position in 0.1 seconds. Easy. And there is a small delay of 0.05 in between each step. So 0.1 for duration, 0.05 for delay, back to initial position is here. Good. Let's close this one. Let's go back to my new mouse hover interaction. So on hover out, I want to create a new animation. Give it and call it hover out button. Select the top arrow. I want it to move in 0.1 second and ease. I want it to move to original position. And then the middle arrow, same. Here I click the plus, move with a small delay of 0.05 in 0.1 seconds, ease. I want it to move back to original position. And the last one, bottom arrow, as well, I want it to move in 0.1, 0.1, ease. I want it to move back on the Y to initial position. Okay, we are done with the hover interaction. If I go to preview here, let's have a look. Yes. So if I keep my mouse on the element, it keeps on moving up and down. If I take it out, it stops and go back to original position. Great. Now let's build the spinning interaction. So to do that, I need to create a new interaction on page trigger here. So if I go to the template, I see the page load here, page trigger on page load. So when my page loads, I want the button directly to start spinning. So to do that, I need to create an animation where my image, so my spinning image here, is rotating 360 degrees on the z-axis. And then after 4 seconds, I want it to rotate back to 0 in 0 seconds. And this I created as a loop, so it goes forever. So after 4 seconds, you go back to initial position in like even less than a millisecond, and it starts spinning again. That's how you create this infinite spinning effect. Great. Let's do this for my new button. I'm going to close this one here. Button here. So I need to set a new page trigger animation. So on page load here, I want to start an animation, create a new animation. So let's call it spinning text button. So I want my spinning image to rotate. Here on the z-axis, I want it to rotate 360 degrees. Duration is 4 seconds, so it doesn't go too fast or too slow. And then after 4 seconds, I want to rotate, so I want a new step, rotate here in 0 seconds. I want it to rotate back to initial position, so 0 degrees. Okay, and this, I want to make it a loop, so it goes forever. Here I tick the loop, and if I preview, I wait 4 seconds, and I see my text spinning forever. Yeah, that's it. Let's preview this in the designer here. So let's have a look at the text. Text is spinning same, and the hover interaction is working. So here's my template. here is my new project. So it's exactly the same. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys got to learn some new stuff. Once again, if you want to visit the live preview of this spinning button or clone it directly into your Webflow project, I put all the links in the description, so go check it out. And if you want to find more Webflow components, interactions, and Webflow tutorials, go visit nocodetribe.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get all the new Webflow tutorials. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao, ciao.